I can't really tell you what we're feeling right now. I guess just deflated more than anything. I'm just exhausted. I'm really tired of things going wrong, but this diesel just seems to keep giving us problems and problems. Right now, we're basically in the same situation where we're towing up a hill and the engine started shuddering, just like really quick jolts. And it was under load around 1500 RPMs this problem was occurring. So we pulled over here at a truck stop real quick, and as we were pulling in, engine code got thrown again, traction control code got thrown again, and then now we're feeling like we're in a washing machine once again. Every time we start the truck, it's just shaking like it's misfiring. We're out of petrol right now. I'm gonna see if I could go inside and at least buy one of those code readers and get some clarification on the code and just see what's going on. So let's hope for the best here. Seems like they have everything but a code reader here. Okay, I asked her, nothing. Said Kingman, Arizona, which is about 18-20 miles down the road. Let's walk back out and find out where we're at with things. Oh man, this sucks. Like, at what point do you just get a new truck? I don't even know. Like, all this money we've thrown into the truck, we have spent over $10,000 to $15,000 in the last few months on this truck. It's just like, we're not gonna get that money back.
And that could have went towards like payments on a new truck.
And we try to play offense with getting all the other fuel injectors addressed at least on one side of the engine. We got 4 pigtails, 4 fuel injectors addressed. Maybe by some chance, now it's the other side that's affected. We already know what they're gonna quote us, well over $3,000 just to access 1 fuel injector. So it's like, do you just go dumping all this thousands of dollars again into the truck? I mean, we're literally only a month since all this happened back in San Diego, and now it's Friday at 5 o'clock. I just can't express how real and raw these emotions are right now. I just feel so deflated. Shoot. Well, the check engine light's still on, but it's not shuddering anymore, which is good, at least for now. I mean, I guess we could just hop our way to Kingman and at least get parked somewhere safe and then just go from there. What do you think?
Do you think we need to go to an RV park, or should we continue to go boondocking? Like, continue with the plan of dumping the tanks and...
Oh man, yeah, we have all that to do too. I guess we should try to go to Walmart and just see if they have a code reader there.
I'll tell you what, this lifestyle will test your patience for sure. Last year, I felt like there were so many things wrong with the RV. This year is all about the truck.
Let's call Adam and see what he has to say. Sometimes it just helps to talk to somebody about it. Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
So we pulled over, turned off the truck, went inside. They didn't have a code reader at the truck stop, so we came back out to the truck after letting it sit for about 10 minutes. And the check engine light is still on, but it's not having that rough idling anymore like it did before.
You definitely got to have it scanned, I guess, just to see what it's doing.
How much do you think, like, the scanning's gonna really help you diagnose it from 3,000 miles away?
Well, it's, at least you'll know what you're in for, I guess, as far as repairs and whatnot.
Yeah.
I suspect it's going to be another misfire code, but it's hard to say.
So yeah, the truck started, it's doing that thing again where it's kicking every about 5 to 7 seconds. It's doing like a quick jolt that I don't know. What would you do if you're in our situation? Would you just put money into a new truck, or would you just keep fixing this?
It depends on what it is. Anything short of catastrophic engine failure, I just keep fixing it.
I am so grateful we made it.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're only 15 minutes down the road from a place like this. So you gotta celebrate those little wins, because we could be stranded in the middle of Texas where there's 100 miles of nothing.
I bet slowing down, it's probably gonna throw them in the wind.
Yeah, I have a feeling too. Yep.
Yep, there it goes.
It did the same thing. Exhaust brake off.
Engine power reduced now.
There it is. It did the same thing. That is so
Traction
weird.
control on, and now we feel like we're in a washing machine. Oh, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but this is exhausting.
Hey, let it. You gotta. There's no reason for you to sugarcoat anything. And I think if you just park in the Walmart park.
Oh, she is shaking like crazy. really confused on what code reader to get because this one's $65 and these are $500, $330, and $250. This one will literally read the code, but I don't think it explains what's going on. I just looked and found that Walmart has the same OBD2 code reader for like 20 bucks. So I'm just gonna go in here and grab it since it's so much cheaper. Thanks for hanging with us through this. This is crazy. Scan tool, here we go. $40. I guess it's better than 65. Gotta take the small wins when you can get them, you know? I really have a strong gut feeling it's gonna be a misfire. All right, made it back. English, GMC, yes. Cylinder number 4.
No way.
Yep, injector circuit open, cylinder number 4. Adam said that is a pigtail failure.
Another pigtail failure?
So number 4, Adam's saying number 4 is the second one back from the front on the driver's side. So you think that's a pigtail that failed?
It's one of 3 things. Pigtail failure is most common. Injector failure, internal failure with the windings in the injector, far less common. Or the computer in the truck is failing, almost impossible. Not impossible, but very, very uncommon. So the pigtail is usually the culprit.
And if we took it to the dealership, do you think they would come up with the same report of like, oh, we see black fretting and powder buildup on the injector, recommend to replace the entire injector? Or do you think they would be like, oh no, we'll just fix the pigtail?
Which one did they do?
They did 1, 3, 5, and 7.
1, 3, 5, and 7
okay,
is what they
so
fixed.
This is the other side of the engine then. Okay.
Yeah,
1, 3, 5, and 7 is passenger side.
Okay.
2, 4, 6, and 8 on driver's side.
Unfortunately, we're in Arizona and left with limited options because it's Friday. So right now I think the plan of action is to get to an RV park, get somewhere safe out of this Walmart parking lot, limp our way there and just touch base over the weekend, just start doing some research. I want to figure out if we can find a diesel mechanic here around Kingman, Arizona. You know, a lot of you guys have been saying utilize the diesel mechanics, and we tried it once in California, had no luck. We rolled the dice like 4 different times. I don't know if that's just because it was Southern California and there's a lack of diesels there or what, but it's just, I'm hoping that Arizona shows us a little bit more love. I was calling, do you guys service everyday trucks like a 2500 diesel?
No, we only work on semis. Help you? All right.
Appreciate your time, thank you. This is the whole premise of what we're talking about, is like they only work on semis. This is everything we called in California. No, we only do heavy duty trucks. Just so you guys don't think I'm crazy, this is literally all we see. So you click on it and it's nothing but big rigs. Next one, dynamic diesel, big rigs.
Good evening. I'm not sure if you'll get this tonight, but it is 5:45 p.m. on Friday, and we are looking for an RV site last minute for about 3 nights. Thank you. It is rough because we are starting to get hungry. I think tonight is going to be a grab something to eat on the go type of night. This is how it goes sometimes.
It's really bad.
If you think about it, it is weird that cylinder 5 and now cylinder 4. And I know they're on opposite sides, but it's like the module or the, like you said, the pump, the wiring. I looked it all up too. Like the connector is the pigtail connector, but like it's so true. The wiring harness, this is crowded. Man, it is hard to continue to show this to you guys, but what makes us want to pick up the camera and show you this side of life is so many of you will reach out and email and say thank you for showing us, you know, what it's really like, because a lot of people are out here living this RV life and they feel like they're the only ones having problems. They turn on YouTube or they look at social media and everyone's having a great time, it's all happy, and they come out here and they're like, our truck's breaking, our RV's breaking, why us, why us? Okay. Well, we just want you guys to know you're not alone. Hit the like button if you want us to continue to show you this side of RV life.
At least we're here safe, huh?
I know, I'm hungry. You're probably so hungry, Dexter's tired. It's been a day. I think I'm gonna call it with the filming though, so we can get set up, get our bellies fed, but we will definitely keep you guys updated with what's going on.
Derek is the man here. He's already looking into potentially some problems with the diesel. So if this is all out of order, don't mind that. The more important thing is he took, what was that, a 10 millimeter socket to this? Really easy to access. on top here, you loosen that and then it exposes something called a mass airflow sensor. The crazy part is that basically this sensor is easily clogged up with a lot of soot and caked up and gunked up, and when it does that, it can send problems with the fuel system entirely. Maybe this is like one of those underlying problems, like if you were to get chest pain, maybe this is like the bad diet portion that causes the chest pain. So maybe this is causing some of the problems we're seeing with the fuel injectors. Once again, not a mechanic, I don't know. We're gonna clean it up as best we can. I mean, look at that thing.
Wow. What I was just saying is my concern is you take the amount of times we've taken our truck in for the glow plugs, for the fuel injectors, for just oil changes, and they do that free multi-point inspection. And they always like tell you, we did a multi-point inspection, everything looks good. But they don't look at stuff like that. It's really frustrating.
So there's a bulb in there?
Yeah, there's like a little like raindrop looking like thing. Mass airflow sensor cleaner.
Airflow.
You don't want to go and spray like brake cleaner or anything on that. Like
yeah.
I watched some YouTube videos before I did it, and there was a couple guys that were, oh, we'll just hit it with brake cleaner real quick, but then you actually Google it, it says
not good.
Not to do that.
It's
Well, that's the
almost
thing.
like
If you
that.
took them in the dealership to have them fix this, they'd probably charge you $200-300
Yeah.
to do this 15-minute job.
I know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
See, that's the hard part for us, not being mechanically inclined. You don't even know what to look for in this stuff. Like, I had never even heard of this piece before you mentioned it this morning.
Yeah, I hadn't either until I had a problem.
That's crazy. So
I think YouTube is where I ended up.
YouTube is the place to be, huh?
Right.
I'll have to check out that. How do you spell YouTube? I have to check out that website one time. Dude, nice. Cleaned up very nicely.
Once you're done, you gotta be like, all right, it's $500.
Yeah, right.
Looks better than it did.
Yeah, how about
Dang, dude. That was caked up. All right, so hop on up here.
Yeah.
All right, we're going up first view access here. So what are we looking at?
So we are looking at a typical L5P injector connector issue. And you can kind of see in here how it's just kind of black and powdery. Basically just from the injector connector shorting, the electrical causes the little black powder. And it has to do with either the terminal inside here breaking, where it's got the metal connector or metal terminal itself with the wiring, or the terminals inside this spread so far apart that they're just touching intermittently.
So this is pretty common.
Yes, this is very common because these injectors actually operate at a really high voltage.
Last month, we had this issue where GMC, the dealership, literally told me, look, we got some black powder buildup. I'm assuming that's what you just
Same thing.
recognized.
Yeah.
He said it affected our fuel injector itself. Is that
Right.
common?
Yeah, so any kind of electrical draw from the injector will cause it to either not pulse correctly or short the voltage, which could in turn affect the solenoid itself on the injector.
Dude, here's the thing. So a lot of people are like, this is a fairly easy job. When I'm looking in here, it don't look super easy because you have to access through this, right?
Yeah, so in reality, this is actually covering all of it. So that goes under these two fuel lines here and under this intercooler pipe or charged air cooler pipe. So you have to take these two quick disconnects off, pull them out of the way, take the intercooler pipe off, get it out of the way, and then the two bolts, and then take this cover up and out of the way also, so that you can access it. It's not terrible, but you do have to have, you know, like a quick disconnect tool set.
Oh, and that's those are, what are those again?
These are your fuel lines.
Fuel lines.
So this is your feed and your return line back to the tank and from the tank.
Okay, so
And
this is
then-
the new one here,
Yeah,
right?
so this will be your new one, and they come with a crazy amount of wire.
How about that?
So we'll cut it down pretty good to where it still fits in the factory location.
Oh, you're gonna actually clean the rest of them? Like you can,
Yeah, so what you can do, if they're not a problem right now, we
Yeah.
will disconnect them, and we will push down on that, pop it off, and we'll just look at each one of them. So you kind of see there's a little bit in this one, but not too bad. Get in there with some terminal tools and just kind of tighten them up a little bit. We'll clean them out with some air and maybe some brake cleaner or some kind of electrical cleaner. Yeah, it's like little maintenance things just to be safe. That way, hopefully it doesn't happen again.
And you said afterwards you like to put dielectric grease.
Yes.
And that dielectric grease just kind of acts as like a protectant, would you say?
Basically it's a safety guard. It keeps other stuff from getting into it. And hopefully will prolong the life of it, you know, keep it from shorting again or getting any worse.
Was I stupid for getting a lifted truck, do you think?
No, this thing is actually like just about the limit. Anything higher than this is where you would have some problems.
What kind of problems would I be looking out for if I got a little bit higher than this?
A lot of the taller trucks, the angles of everything are just wrong.
Okay.
If you ever have to use four-wheel drive, sometimes you could run into some issues with CV axles, a lot of tie rod issues. I believe even these generation Duramax still had tie rod issues.
I did just get that replaced. Yeah, one of the tie rods was worn down completely.
So,
does a lifted truck truly put like a lot more stress on things?
Stress on parts, yeah.
on
So a
parts.
lot more stress on ball joints. Bigger wheels and tires are harder on drive components. You know, you're taking a truck designed to move a certain amount of weight, and you're adding weight or adding bigger tires to it. It's going to affect it. You know, you either have to make more power to make up for it, get into some better parts, or just replace parts more often.
How long does an injector usually last on its own, roughly?
Realistically, as long as you maintain your fuel filters and run an additive here and there, they will last the length of the vehicle. Sometimes there is failures, things that are inevitable, but I have a personal truck out here that is turned up, has high horsepower, and it's still on the original injectors with bigger nozzles on the tips, and they're still the OEM injectors.
The actual pigtails, is this just a weak point for Duramax engines, or
just
is this
on this generation? So there was another generation, was the LLY Duramax. They also had another issue with a 2 and 7 injector connectors. So they went to the next generation as the LBZ, and they had a slightly better bracket system that held the wires from doing the same thing almost, but they break inside the base of the connector instead of internal to the pin itself. They would have a new bracket system and a longer wire section where it gets bolted solid, doesn't wiggle basically is the problem. Which I would assume this is probably the same aspect, just wiggles and wiggles and wiggles until it opens them up.
Injector wiring harness, a lot of people are saying that could potentially be a culprit. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, on these, the harness itself is actually tied into the entire engine harness. The injector harness is not separate.
You mentioned fuel filters. Talk me through that. How important is it to stay on top of fuel filters?
It's a big deal, man.
Really?
So the L5Ps aren't as bad, but the maintenance is key on these things. If you don't do your maintenance, you're gonna have issues. It's that simple. An earlier generation of Duramax of these was the LML Duramax, and they had big issues with the injection pump. It's a CP4 injection pump, and they are designed not very well. So they don't have good internals on them. Would any kind of sediment or things from the filter get into it, it would wipe out the pump, which in turn would wipe out your entire fuel system. Injectors, lines, rails.
What a nightmare.
Yeah, big expensive ticket, you know. You get lucky on these ones, they went to an HP4 pump, which is a lot better as far as I know. I haven't seen pump issues on these.
Oh, okay. So I don't have a CP4.
You do not, yeah. You have the HP4, and I have not seen any issues on those yet.
Music to my ears, because that was my next question. I was like, do I have to get that replaced now? It's a lot of information, but I'm glad you guys are here because this is pretty cool to be able to see behind the scenes. Usually you don't get to see this when you go to dealerships. No, they're not taking you back behind the scenes, but guys like this, awesome information. Back when this happened, we were about 15 miles out, and then it started rough idling while we were driving like 55 miles an hour. I think it was like around 1,500 RPMs that just started kind of doing this. Is that just the start of the fuel injector misfiring? Was that what we were seeing?
Yeah, so if it's basically a voltage issue, so it's losing voltage, the injector doesn't know what to do. So it's either trying to force it open or it's not firing at all, and that one cylinder is just going through its cycle or its stroke, and it's not doing anything. It's getting no fuel's getting in, so it's not burning. It's just making its motions. It's not making power, so it's going to make a miss.
Because when we slowed down, it finally threw it into that reduced engine power, limp mode, and that's its way of like protecting itself, basically the engine.
Any kind of misfire codes, any kind of certain emissions codes to a certain extent will put anything into power reduced.
What are your thoughts on like dealerships and stuff? Are they kind of like a good resource in an emergency?
I'm a big, I'd say privateer kind of guy, so I think like not really a mom and pop shop, but an actual diesel performance shop or diesel specific shop is always going to be a little bit better than a dealer, but the dealer has access to better OEM parts, or a dealership that pays to have their techs schooled in these motors and stuff that can understand them top to bottom is the best.
Yeah, I like to think like sometimes like a dealership is kind of like healthcare, you know, when you go into an ER, you're gonna have certain protocols you have to hit. Like if you go in with chest pain, you can't just be like, oh, I'll just kind of do this, and you know, like they're gonna have a whole workaround list that they have to follow. When you go to somebody a little bit more private, you know, maybe they'll have you think outside the box a little quicker, be like, okay, most of the time chest pain, work on your diet, you know, or, you know, just, you know, very layman's terms, like it's just a different way of tackling the same problem, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's, I mean, you know, a crude way of saying this, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Having somebody who has done it before or knows where to look, like the second someone sees a code like that, they go, pigtail.
Yeah, I like your light setup here. This is pretty cool.
Those are super sweet. Any kind of hood light. We have this, or we have ones that go on our neck. We actually put on our head so we can see what we're working on. Look like a dork, so I didn't want to wear them on camera. You know?
You and me both. I'm always walking outside with socks and flip-flops. I'm like, it's all good. We changed out one pigtail. The other 3 pigtails you cleaned out with some fluid.
Ice picked, and put some dielectric grease in.
Ice picked.
Ice picked is what they call it. It's just layman's term for like tightening the connector in the pigtail.
Dude, this is a impressive scanner.
Yeah, this is the Matco Maximus 4. It is pretty good. It's like kind of the better priced of all the big name ones.
So you literally put your VIN number in here and everything?
Yeah, so it automatically searches it for me. You have your truck VIN, engine size, L5P. I'm gonna read the codes, see what it has still. It should still have that injector circuit code.
Okay.
So we're gonna try to clear it and then wait a minute once it lets us through. See if it stays gone or if it's stored. So code stays gone, it's good. We did do an oil change. So first thing we wanna do is start it and make sure oil pressure and all that's good. Oh, and a fuel filter. So we'll give that just a minute. It ought to kick right up. Good oil pressure, no leaks on the ground.
What is kind of like a good oil pressure? Is that good?
It's a little high because it's cold and it's brand new oil.
Oh.
So it'll drop down as it gets cool. It's pretty good. 60, 45, 60 PSI is good. I think the rule of thumb is like 5 PSI for every 500 RPM is what you want it to be. So we will go ahead and do that real quick. And I can already tell it's not running rough, so that's a good sign.
So it's pretty important to stay up on these oil changes, huh?
Yes. You know, if you're working the truck, like I would say towing a camper all the time, you got to stay real on top of your oil changes, your fuel filters, all your maintenance is just...
What's getting in the oil that's like the big concern?
I believe it's just burnt fuel. As it combusts, it gets on the cylinder wall and it gets, you know, basically scraped back in the pan. And, you know, plus whatever materials, bearing materials.
You did put a synthetic oil in the truck, so I'm going to try my best to stay on top of synthetic going forward.
Yeah, if you can get anything Hot Shot Secrets, I would recommend it. Like I said, they're my big one. But any kind of good synthetic is really, really good. AMS oil's up there, all on the expensive list, but they're really good.
Yeah, as long as you're protecting the truck, I guess, because you know,
it's
the
worth
new
it.
ones.
I mean, think about it. Yeah, you go buy a new one, or you just spend a little more to maintain this one for the rest of your life.
Man, the new one is like, I've been looking it up, $95,000 starting.
Yeah.
Just for a new Denali.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm like...
Because you're not going to buy the lower package for that kind of money. You know?
No.
Spend the extra 10 grand to get the one you want.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, it's like buying a house.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to give me an exact number, but how many miles do you think realistically you can run like these newer engines for, like these new diesels?
So, I mean, they should be able to do just like the old trucks. I mean,
really?
I've seen 7.3s, you know, 6 liters, couple, but more 7.3s and older Duramaxes in the 300, 400,000 mile range. The new ones, unfortunately, in my mind, the emission stuff really kills them. I haven't seen one of these high mileage, except for maybe a couple of Hot Shot trucks I've worked on.
So with the emissions in my truck, what's realistically going to be the first thing that kills it? Like, is it?
Like small things, but most of the time I see them in here for NOx sensors, EGT sensors, bad EGR valve, things like that.
Gotcha.
All emissions related. I do more emissions work on the newer diesels than anything. Drained it really, really well.
Oh, 10 quarts for these?
Okay. Yeah, normally.
How you put all this back together?
Yeah, this will be the fun part.
What is this right here?
Yeah, so this is your whole, it's your intercooler or charge air cooler pipe, turbo boost pressure or your airflow through the intercooler back around to the engine.
What would happen if you just started it right now with that?
It would just blow air out of here.
Oh, gotcha.
And then it would be sucking air into this, so you gotta be real careful.
Oh, because you could get dirt and stuff.
Yeah, dirt or a rag if something was sitting up here.
Yikes.
Yeah, you don't want to send nothing through there. You don't absolutely have to. 1/2 inch quick disconnect here. Kind of wiggle this. Nope, good there.
So even just those two right there were different sizes? Wow, that's crazy.
So your feed one is a 1/2 inch feed, and then this is your return. So this is actually what your injectors and your injection pump don't use. They get returned to this line and get sent back to the tank to be cooled. There is a fuel cooler on the frame. I believe it helps to just make it more efficient as far as I understand. This will be the funnest part, is just getting it by all the stuff. Don't force it, because that's when you break something.
Gotta be honest, he's ripping into this, and I'm not gonna be the first person out the door trying to do this myself in the future. This is pretty in-depth. How's she looking?
Looks good.
Nice.
All buttoned up, our lines are back on, our keepers are on, boost tube's back on, cover's on. Get all the air out of that system.
Is that usually what it is after a fuel filter?
Yeah, you cycle the key a lot of times, and that usually pushes most of it out, but they still get some air pockets.
Good to go.
Windshield, I've got the doors, I've got the seat, I got everything, but we're working through our electrical, so all this is electrical stuff we have to put back.
Look at that. Man, these tires are massive.
Those are regular truck tires.
What year is that fire truck?
57. It's
No
a GMC
way.
57. It's got butterfly hood on it, which means the hood opens from the side like this. But that's a 327. I just cleaned it up and painted it. It runs fine. I put old air in this too. The license plate is Cool 67. Then the 22-inch smoothies.
I love that old retro style look. That is so cool. Well, thanks for the tour. It's a pleasure to meet you, Kyle.
Nice to meet you, Cam. My next project's right there. The guy made a left turn. We both made a left turn, and he went in the right lane. I went in the left lane, and all of a sudden, without warning, he just turned left. He wanted to make a U-turn and go back the other way.
I don't want to blow your mind, but check out my code reader I just got the other day.
It's pretty good. I
yeah, mean, $20 at Walmart, huh?
I'd say realistically, when all you need to do is check codes, you know, a lot of people just need to know what it is. It doesn't tell you an emissions code or something, but it doesn't say like, hey, I'm hurt, or engine light's on and the truck still runs fine. People get so stressed, and then that's how some shops take advantage of people, because they're so worried about an engine light when it's something so small.
I forgot to introduce you guys. This is Alex. This is a man taking care of us today. So if you are in the area of Kingman, Arizona, that's where we're stranded for now, but not anymore. Come check out Alex at Plumnasty.
Plumnasty,
yeah.
Diesel Performance.
We'll throw a link down in the description below too, so you have quick access and you can come see for yourself. Truck's doing good.
Yeah, so far so good. No codes. I don't feel anything funny.
Oh, you have the code reader hooked up right now?
Yeah.
Oh, yep. That's so cool.
Yeah, nothing showing yet. So if a code popped, I would just be able to check it, make sure it's nothing major, or if we're chasing another injector or something. So
what's good to do here?
Different stuff. A lot of the stuff around here is like side-by-sides. People love the desert riding around here. We have a pretty sweet downtown area. If you like kind of older area with some really good places to eat, places to have a beer or two.
Beautiful. Like the mountains are so cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good one too. If you guys are in town long enough with the trailer on hook, take off up Wallapai Mountain Road, go all the way to the top. There's we have the Wallapai Lodge. It's like decent food. It's up in the tall pines. It's beautiful up there. There's some hiking, a nice little park.
I'm really happy the trucks are like back to running.
Yeah.
Dude, it was the end of the world for us just the other. I can't tell you. Like when we were going through this, I cannot believe this is happening again. And I guess I should just mentally prepare now. This is probably going to happen again. It could happen soon. You know what I mean?
No telling. Hopefully it's not within another 10,000 miles, but every truck's different. It could happen in 200 miles. You know, there's no way to know for sure. You know, we took care of the basics. We ice picked and fixed a few things, did the dielectric grease to maintain, and we just kind of see what happens.
Officially in the safe zone to say she's fixed?
Yes, sir.
All right. I love to hear it. Music to my ears.
We have the tire rotation, the oil change, fuel filter, the connector, and the connector repair.
Yeah.
And then some diag on there. Kyle Hanks. We were at $933.45.
That was only $933.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fair prices.
Wow.
Something simple.
Are you serious?
Yes, sir.
I was expecting a couple thousand.
No, not for one. Even if it was all four, I don't think you'd still wouldn't be.
Did I just tell you I spent $5,000 at the dealership?
Yes.
Oh, my heart. You know, it's like these learning lessons, dude. This is, wow.
It's a tough one.
Thank you,
I don't
man.
need to
this is wonderful.
charge like what they would charge a dealer. And then if it was in California, I mean,
that's true too.
Rates are a lot higher.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We do, you know, I try to beat who I can for something easy. If it was more in-depth or harder, it would probably be a little more, but something so basic,
dude,
you know, a little bit of diag time, realistically.
I appreciate it, man. That's awesome. That is so cool. In good hands. I love it. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for everything.
No problem.
Pleasure to meet you, Alex.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll see you around. Thank you. Nice to meet you guys. Yes. That's checked off the list. Well, we certainly hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you go check out our other videos. It is the best way to show your support if you want to continue to see more content like ours. We'll leave a couple videos popped up on your screen right here. I guarantee you're going to love them. We'll see you over there. Love you guys. Until the next one.